Okay, now I'm going to share the third game that was submitted for the best game trophy at our just completed March Pleasanton quads in Pleasanton, California. We had another submission, this one by a longtime Berkeley Chess School student and player. She participates in most of our quads, and every quad she comes to me with some of her games and tries to win the best game trophy. And here she played a very good game, a very exciting game, and I'd love to share it with you now. So we have Dusty playing for white, and she moved her king's pawn 2 steps forward. Yay! And black played pawn to e5. She brought out her knight, already making a threat. Threats are what drive a chess game forward, and the threat is met. And Dusty now played a move that I really like. This is the Scotch game. And a little theory in the Scotch game, black has to take the pawn. If black does something else like pawn to d6, we get an advantage by trading pawns and then trading queens. And if the knight comes back, we are up a pawn. If black has to capture with the king instead, then they can't castle, which is worth a pawn. So it's kind of well known in the Scotch game that you're supposed to take. In this game, Dusty's opponent actually played pawn to d5, which is a spicy move. But Dusty can gain an advantage several ways now. And she took on e5. She captured on d5, excuse me, kicking the knight. The knight captures. The knight captured the pawn, and Dusty captured. There was a recapture, and now she can capture this pawn, and she's up a pawn, but she didn't. Kind of surprising. I would have captured that pawn. Some of our guiding principles said don't bring out your queen too early, but her natural enemy, the queenside knight, is not available to attack the queen. So she would have been up a pawn if she did that. Instead, she turns it into a gambit. And black sniffs the pawn, but thinks, nope, it must be a trap. I'm going to develop my knight with a threat on your pawn. And after captures and captures, each side has captured 2 pawns. Dusty's not up a pawn, but she is pressing forward with knight c3, and black chooses to pin the knight. And this is a very common tactical situation that you have to be aware of as you play in chess tournaments. Again, we're going to count the number of attackers versus defenders. How many times is black attacking this knight? Twice. How many defenders does it have? Only once. So the threat is Alt 0. Yes. The threat is black is going to capture the knight and recapture with the bishop, and this is a fork. So that happens a lot. You'll see this many situations, and Dusty needs to guard her knight and unpin it at the same time. But she didn't. She attacked her opponent's knight. And black should definitely pounce. But black was perhaps concerned about unleashing the bishop onto f7. There could be some spicy threats with the queen and checkmates, and that's not wrong. So he chose to castle. And Dusty chose to castle. And now black does execute the threat, except there's no king on e1. It's only a threat to the rook. But he does collect another pawn. So he's given up 2 and captured 4, and black is ahead in this game. And Dusty played bishop to a3, attacking the rook. And there's no useful way to block. Oh, there is a useful way to block. I didn't think of that. The rook could come to the rook chose to come to the open file. And rooks are generally most powerful when they're on an open file. So Dusty says, I've heard that too. I'm putting my rook on the open file, and now a mistake. We saw Dusty make a mistake earlier, but didn't pay for it. Here, black makes a mistake and pays for it. What's the mistake? What's so bad about bishop to d7? He's inadvertently undefended his bishop on d4, and Dusty doesn't miss it. She captured the pawn, and suddenly she is ahead with lots of momentum as well. I see that both of these bishops raking up the board. The queen as well. Whoa. The rook is smiling on the open file. This one's also smiling. And perhaps this rook's threat to the b7 pawn caused black to play pawn to b6. And from this point, Dusty finds an unstoppable winning attack, and it's rather beautiful. What would you play here for white? I have a grandmaster friend who does YouTube videos for Power Chess named Daniel King, and he has a little phrase. He says, "I'll have a drink, you have a think." No, vice versa. You have a think, I'll have a drink. Okay, the winning move is bishop goes backwards. Backward moves are often the hardest to find. But the threat is queen takes g7 checkmate. And you cannot block with your pawn because that pawn is pinned. So, in moving the pawn doesn't help. The rook can't help the pawn. The bishop can't help the pawn. The only way to save the pawn is to move the queen. So black did. And what should white play? The reason this is winning is because now nothing's guarding the d7 bishop, and Dusty captures the second bishop. It's also a discovered attack on the queen. Black played rook on a to d8, and Dusty now captured the queen. And it dawned on black, to his chagrin, that he can't take white's queen. Why not? He can't take that queen because we have a classic back rank mate. So he can't take the queen. So he took the bishop. And now there's many ways to win here. And I will come back to this position. We'll find a different way to win. But Dusty's way to win was pretty straightforward. Rook takes e8 check. Rook takes, queen takes check. And the hunt is on. And Dusty, without mercy, quickly corrals the king. Another check forces him to h5. And the winning move? A beautiful checkmate net. Bishop to e2. Crisscross. Checkmate sauce. A spectacular finish. A great king chase. But let's go back. It's so tempting to take the rook. 2 attackers, 1 defender. But is there a better move here for white? You have a think. I'll have a drink. The winning move, the faster checkmate, as you might have found by now, is queen takes f7 check. King has to cower in the corner. And now we have a checkmate in 1. Queen takes pawn. Queen f6 checkmate. And a very elegant checkmate as well. In only 2 moves. But both ways were very exciting. A very dramatic game. Some significant mistakes by both players, but that's scholastic chess. So congratulations to Dusty for playing this great game. And that's the 3rd game. I will be sharing the 4th and the 5th game, and then I'd like you guys to vote for which game is the best game.